The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Coming up on BCIT magazine, cougar sightings have left Coquitlam residents on edge.
A Canadian artist is spreading messages about communication and collaboration.
And a local football player is waiting to hear his name called at the CFL draft.
Hello and welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Brady Trentonero.
And I'm Robin Crawford. Vancouver City Council has voted to review the way the city names things in an effort to promote cultural diversity within the community. Andrea Reimer introduced the motion, which passed unanimously. Members of council say they want to recognize people whose historical contributions have been overlooked, including women and members of local Indigenous communities. Reimer says this initiative is in line with the city's Canada Day efforts.
It's a symbolic year for us as a country. As a city, we've chosen to really focus on reconciliation, and at its base, the concept of naming and who owns the streets is really a discussion about reconciling a distant past, a history that has been erased, with a nearer term past that we might not be proud of, with our aspirations for the future, and what better time than 150 plus to do that.
Reimer says many city assets don't currently have names. City Council has the power to name streets, buildings, and even gardens. Our reporter Nicole Aud now joins us to tell us more about this motion. Nicole, what kind of changes could be seen in Vancouver?
The motion has a couple of parts to it. The city wants to recognize people from communities that haven't been recognized in the past. This includes women and members of ethnic communities in the city. They say that, they want those sorts of names of people from those communities in the city around them. On the other hand, there's also an aspect where they want to recognize the names of parts of the city that may have had Indigenous names prior to Europeans coming here.
And is there a timeline for these changes to be made?
There is no set timeline. This is something that's going to be ongoing throughout the entire year. City staff will be speaking to First Nations communities as well as other groups around the city. They want to find out who exactly these communities want to honor as part of this project. City staff have been directed that they will have to return a report by December of this year. And City Council says this is a good year, Canada's 150th birthday, to have these sorts of conversations. Back to you.
A family in Coquitlam's River Springs neighborhood got a rude awakening when a cougar came a little too close for comfort. My co-anchor Robin Crawford has the story.
This is the sight that greeted a Coquitlam family last week, a cougar falling off of a backyard fence. The video that surfaced online is one of many and has left some locals concerned.
Well, behind me there's a fish hatchery and a little creek that runs into the pond, and they spawn, fish, so I'm sure there's bears and cougars, and then also there's families of ducks, so there's a lot of prey for them.
Although the several cougar sightings this past month in Coquitlam have been a shock, for River Springs residents, wild creature sightings are nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it's a privilege living in such a gem like River Spring, but we do have bears and we do have raccoons, we do have wildlife. You can't do anything about that. Our backyard open, so we always have bears visiting us during the summer.
Some residents are on high alert after the recent sightings. They say they will be keeping their loved ones a little closer.
We don't leave children or little animals on the backyard alone. We have eagles, we have raccoons. Anybody could hurt them, but
Cougars usually stay hidden in Coquitlam's backcountry, but one cougar was so aggressive back in February, a trap was set up to catch the wildcat.
If a cougar shows interest in you, respond aggressively. Maintain eye contact and make sure to show your teeth. Make sure the cougar always stays in front of you. Never turn your back on a cougar. Robin Crawford in Coquitlam for BCIT Magazine.
Bakers beware, Robin Hood Flour has posted a recall warning on bags sold in Western Canada. Smucker Foods posted the warning due to a possible E. coli contamination. The recall was triggered when one person ate the flour and became ill.
BC billionaire Jim Pattison just donated $75 million to St. Paul's Hospital. This is the largest donation by a singular person to a medical facility in Canadian history. According to St. Paul's Hospital, the money will go towards a world-class medical and research center right in the heart of Vancouver.
The BCIT Student Association is holding a referendum to decide if they will open a new student building. Funding for the new building will push tuition costs but promises to have new workspaces, food options, and be open 24/7. Voting runs from April 6th to April 13th.
Up next on BCIT Magazine, influential artwork is on display at the Burnaby Art Gallery.
And later on in the show, our reporter Nick Arthur sits down with Creative BC to talk about the film industry.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine. Welcome back to BCIT Magazine. An influential Canadian artist is showing off over 50 years of artwork during a cross-country tour. As my co-anchor Brady Tretnero found out, this is his way of offering insight into collectively working and living together.
Hank Bull is a Vancouver-based artist who uses his artwork to spread messages about connection and collaboration. His artwork has been transformed into a sculptural installation that is currently on display at the Burnaby Art Gallery. Bull aims to connect people as his artwork parallels a shift towards technology and away from actual human interaction.
Well, I hope people will take away this idea that, art is not a manufactured product that you buy. Art is actually a way of life. Art is an attitude. It's about a relationship between people, and it's about your own search for whatever your own particular truth may be.
Johnny Lau is one of the curators for the traveling exhibit, and she says Hank's artwork was arranged in a way that reflects his message of collectivity and collaboration.
One of the things that we did was decide not to arrange it chronologically, but rather towards the relationships between projects and objects. Hank has noticed that objects are speaking with each other.
While the Hank Bull Connexion exhibit runs in Burnaby through April 6th, his artwork is held in permanent collections in Montreal and New York. This may be Hank Bull's last stop on his cross-Canada tour, but it's artwork like this that will last a lifetime. Brady Tretnero in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
To celebrate Canada's 150th birthday, Via Rail is offering a round-trip ticket across Canada for only $150. If the deal sounds too good to be true, well, it just might be. The ticket is only offered to people aged 25 years old and younger. Travel from Vancouver to Halifax as many times as you'd like from July 1st to July 31st.
The staff at Canucks Place Children's Hospice have always been open to new techniques in how they care for their children. Every Thursday, the staff invites the children of the hospice to participate in arts and crafts. Sometimes simple is better, and for twins Melissa and Ashley, the activity is a calming influence. Special education assistant Bertie Clordy believes that normalcy is extremely important for the children.
I'd say it was very relaxing for them. I think it's really important that they get the opportunity to participate in arts and crafts, just having the feel of the paint, that kind of thing that other children do. Very rarely does a child not want to come in here, so they seem to enjoy it. And the different textures, just the colours alone.
For Melissa and Ashley, it's a time for them to take a break from treatments and get back to being kids.
Well, if you think that it's rained a lot in March, then you would be right. According to Environment Canada, this month is likely to be the third wettest March on record at the Vancouver International Airport. The average precipitation in the region during March is around 115 millimeters, but we are already nearing 200 millimeters. While this winter was colder than normal, there's a chance the temperature could be improving.
The indications right now for the May-June or the April-May-June seasonal forecasts are hinting at a slight chance of above normal temperatures as we go into sort of the end of spring and into the beginning of summer.
The current El Niño weather system is making it difficult to predict how much precipitation we can expect.
We now go to Nick Arthur, who is joined by Prem Gill of Creative BC to talk about the state of the Vancouver film industry.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Nick Arthur alongside with Prem. We're going to be talking about the movie industry here. So what does it mean for the Metro Vancouver area with shows like Lucifer and Legion leaving production?
Well, you know, it's certainly disappointing when shows leave, but Metro Vancouver remains really dynamic in terms of film and TV production. You know, in our history, 30-plus year history of television and film production in this region, there's no signs of things slowing down. We remain very appealing for productions from Los Angeles, Canadian productions as well. We have, I think, 4 to 6 pilots shooting over the spring period right now. So there's a lot going on. So, you know, shows do come and go sometimes. You know, second seasons, something like Lucifer is actually based in Los Angeles, so from a locations perspective and the sunshine perspective, they were looking for, you know, probably that was part of their decision making as well. But, you know, we're a very competitive jurisdiction, and in North America, you know, Movie Maker magazine ranked us #1 with New York. So there's, you know, we're not worried. We know that there's a lot of activity. We've got, you know, thousands of people that work in this industry. We have over 2 million square feet of studio space. We have great infrastructure. We're close to Los Angeles, so things continue to thrive.
And I know you mentioned being #1. I read that they were up there. The top 3 were actually Vancouver, New York, and Los Angeles. So what does that mean for people that are trying to break in this industry in the Lower Mainland or Vancouver area?
Well, I think there's a lot of opportunities, and everything, it ranges in everything from, you know, working on a set as a carpenter or set decorator or an assistant director or a locations consultant, a production manager, to post-productions, because we're also actually a very vibrant visual effects industry here as well, ranking, you know, globally as a leader. So that there's, you know, different types of skill sets, both technical and artistic skill sets. So movies like right now, the Power Rangers came out last weekend. Both the physical production and the post-production visual effects were done in Vancouver. So that's something that people should be thinking about in terms of career paths and opportunities, that there is, you know, you might want to be an electrician. You can actually also be an electrician on a film set.
It's pretty good opportunities. And what do you see coming to the spring season, how the industry is going to be picking up in the spring season? Is it going to be slowing down?
Yeah, no, things are looking pretty good. So like I said, there's actually, if people are interested, there's movies out right now, Power Rangers, where you can, you know, it was in Richmond, Kamloops, and Vancouver. The Smurfs movie, which was done at Sony Imageworks here in downtown Vancouver. So there's actually stuff that you can see on the screen. We expect shows like Riverdale, The 100, Supernatural, Supergirl, they're all going to be back producing their next seasons here. So their shooting schedules will be getting busy. Deadpool 2 will be back and they'll be shooting. There's a lot of Netflix type of shows. The Unfortunate Events, which is based on the Lemony Snicket series, they'll be back for their second season. I think they're starting up soon. So yeah, it's there's lots going on, and I think the great thing for people who live in BC and the Metro Vancouver region is you don't even realize your favorite shows are all being made here. If you're a Once Upon a Time fan, has a really strong fan base, well, that's been here for years and years. So yeah, lots going on.
So I guess for the final question is, are there any noteworthy productions coming out in the upcoming months here based in Vancouver?
Yeah, so well, Power Rangers is in the theaters right now. You know, the Smurfs movie. It's interesting, a lot of films that maybe aren't produced out of Vancouver, the visual effects do happen here as well. So there's any number of shows. There's a film called The Shack that was out recently. I think that was actually shot here as well. So there is you know, lists of things. The superhero seasons are all wrapping up. It was really interesting this season between Arrow, Supergirl, The Flash, and DC Legends. They all met. Their shows crossed over, so there's lots of interesting things like that happening. So you can catch up on those series as well if you haven't been a fan of those. They're pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Prim.
Yeah.
That's all, and back to you guys in the studio.
Bob Dylan is set to receive his Nobel Prize this weekend in Stockholm. The 75-year-old is receiving the prize for literature. He is also going to be performing 2 concerts while he is there.
Coming up after the break, we have entertainment.
And an SFU alumni is pursuing his dreams of professional football.
That's all up next after the break. Stay with us.
Standby graphics, ready, camera 1.
If you want to experience the fast-paced world of news,
today on BCIT Magazine, striking,
make magic on a movie set,
frame,
and action, or bring your creative ideas to life, BCIT's hands-on training will get you started. BCIT Television and Video Production. Your possibilities start here.
I chose BCIT because I know that all the programs are very hands-on. We have our own radio station. Like it's one of the best programs that I've ever heard of.
I am starting a job on Monday, so confidence is high.
Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be this fun.
New Westminster's annual Lit Fest is back this weekend. Bring the family out to this free literary arts festival and enjoy readings, workshops, and meet and greets with local authors and poets. Check out their website, newwestlitfest.com, for specific times and locations.
Are you ready to laugh? 2 hilarious Vancouver comedy troupes will be at the 7 Dining Lounge this Friday for the 7 Improv Comedy Showcase. The headliners, The Radical, will be at 7 p.m. and be sure to stick around for Hocus Pocus at 9 p.m.
Get into that spring spirit at the Hanami Cherry Blossom celebration this Sunday at the Trout Lake Community Center for traditional performances, Japanese food tastings, and origami workshops. A picnic will be held under the cherry blossom tree outside the building.
The Vancouver International Burlesque Festival is returning to the Vancouver Playhouse this weekend with an exciting new lineup. They're welcoming world-class performers like Poison Ivy and Bazooka Joe.
Welcome back to BCIT Magazine. We are now joined by our entertainment reporter, Falaki Adasuba, and our sports reporter, Jacob Hall. Thank you for joining us. Falaki, you have some new movie releases.
Yes, I do, Robin. So the Fast and Furious franchise is keeping it strong with yet another release. The Fate of the Furious is coming out on the 14th of April.
Dominic Toretto just went rogue.
You gonna turn your back on family?
This will be the 8th installment of the movie, but according to Vin Diesel, he says Fast 8 is going to be the first installment of a trilogy intended to bring the series to an end after 10 films.
Oh, damn!
Oh, wow, that looks really good.
Yeah, it really does. I've seen all 7 of them, so I'm actually really looking forward to checking this one out.
Looks like they're gonna go to all ends of the earth for this one, too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, most of it was shot in Iceland, but they go to all the awesome places like Dubai, Cuba, New York City, you know, all around. I think it was definitely good to have the whole crew come back. The next movie features Morgan Freeman going in style. It comes out on the 7th of April.
These banks practically destroyed this country, and nothing ever happened to them.
I want to rob that bank.
Let's go get our money back.
Halt! What are you chasing me for?
Don't make me tase you!
This is not an admission of guilt. I'm just tired.
Wow, what a great cast.
Yeah, it's really hard to find a good comedy nowadays. I really hope it pans out.
I know, and Morgan Freeman, you can't go wrong, right?
Oh yeah, anything with Morgan Freeman is always good for sure. You know, it's a comedy with giggling right from the get-go. The next movie is an animation called Leap. It comes out on the 21st of April. It is about a late 19th century ballet school in Paris, starring the local voice of Carly Rae Jepsen and Maddie Ziegler, who stars in Sia's music videos. She's well known for that.
You were
become the greatest dancer, and I will become the greatest inventor ever.
You're a weirdo.
Starting tomorrow, we'll have an audition in my new ballet.
Can you dance? I think I can.
Wow, that looks really impressive.
Yeah, a lot of talented singers on the soundtrack. I think it could be really fun.
I know, you can't go wrong with Sia, right? Thanks so much, Blackie. I'm looking forward to all of those. And Jake, what's going on in the world of sports?
I actually caught up with SFU running back Ante Litra as he makes his transition to the pro game. Ante Litra trains. He trains in pursuit of his dream, the dream of being a professional football player. From humble beginnings as an undersized player without a position, Litra has worked his way onto the radar of a number of NFL and CFL teams. The journey has never been easy for Ante.
I mean, I went from being a kid that was undersized and, maybe even a bit picked on and cut from the top teams all the time.
Where did Ante's drive come from? His parents, who tirelessly provided for him and his siblings.
Always work hard and it's going to be paid off. Never give up. So I think, I had uphills and downhills. When I go uphill, I fell, and I go up and do it again.
Although the experience is new and unexpected, Litra knows that this is the path he wants to take.
It's exciting and a bit of a surprise, but it's relieving in the sense that I know I'm almost at my dream right now.
As for his father, Litra living his dream is not a surprise.
Till dream exists. So his dream is still existing, and I hope it will come true.
For Ante, all he can do now is work and wait until May 25th, as he hopes to have his name called at the CFL draft. Jacob Hall in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine. Sticking with football, the Oakland Raiders, after years of struggling to get a stadium built in the East Bay, have moved their operations to Las Vegas. The team received 31 of a necessary 24 votes to allow for relocation. The team will play out the 2017 and 2018 season in Oakland until the $1.7 billion stadium is finished in Las Vegas. This is the third relocation in the last 2 years for the NFL, following the Chargers and Rams both moving to Los Angeles last season. Moving on to college basketball, we have a Final Four that features two Pacific Northwest teams, Gonzaga and Oregon. The Ducks were able to upset Kansas 74-60, while the Zags beat up Xavier 83-59 in the Elite Eight round. Both teams joined North Carolina and Cinderella story South Carolina. It should be an exciting few games in Phoenix. In hockey news, the Canucks continued their descent down the NHL standings with a 4-1 loss against Anaheim. However, young stars like Brock Besser and Bo Horvat offer optimism on the future.
Well, it looks like Canucks fans will have to wait yet another year to see their team make the playoffs, but I am excited to see who the Canucks will take at the 2017 NHL entry draft in June.
If you have any questions regarding the show, you can contact us at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitbroadcastnews.ca. Thank you for watching BCIT Magazine. I'm Robin Crawford.
And I'm Brady Trentonero. We leave you now with footage of the Coquitlam River.